Have you ever felt completely unmotivated, empty, and craving something, anything, that can excite you again? You might be stuck in what scientists now call a dopamine trap, and it's becoming a real epidemic. Today, we're going to talk about what dopamine actually is, why dopamine addiction is dangerous, how to reset your brain, and the surprising connection between dopamine and longevity. Let's dive in. Dopamine is one of the most important neurotransmitters in your brain. Think of neurotransmitters as the language your brain cells use to talk to each other. When one neuron wants to pass on a message, it sends an electrical signal down its axon and then releases a chemical, a neurotransmitter, into the space between neurons. That's how the signal continues. Dopamine is the key player in the reward and motivation system. It's the chemical that fires when you set a goal and work toward it. It keeps you focused. It gives you drive. It helps you take action. But dopamine is also responsible for motor activity, like controlling your movements. When there's not enough dopamine, you can see symptoms like shaking hands, muscle stiffness, or even the inability to swallow or maintain posture. Classic signs of Parkinson's disease. In fact, even certain viruses like Omicron have been linked to disruptions in dopamine systems, potentially increasing the risk of neurological diseases. When you constantly chase instant gratification, things like porn, social media scrolling, gambling, drugs, or binge drinking, your brain gets flooded with dopamine. The levels can spike 6 to 10 times higher than normal. At first it feels amazing, but over time, your brain starts to adapt. It stops responding to regular dopamine levels, and now you need more and more to feel anything at all. This is what we call the dopamine trap, or sometimes the dopamine crash. You feel empty, unmotivated, apathetic. Nothing feels exciting unless it's extreme, new, or intense. The solution? Something called dopamine fasting. It means taking a break from all those intense dopamine triggers. Social media, gambling, porn, alcohol, junk food, even extreme sports. You give your brain time to reset. You relearn how to enjoy small pleasures. A walk in nature, a good book, or cooking a meal. It sounds simple, but it works. By reducing stimulation, your dopamine receptors become more sensitive again. And slowly, your natural motivation returns. Dopamine doesn't come out of nowhere. It's made from an essential amino acid called phenylalanine, which you can only get through food. Phenylalanine is converted into tyrosine, then into dopamine, and eventually into norepinephrine, a hormone associated with creativity, alertness, and even immunity. That's right, dopamine isn't just about pleasure. It's part of your stress response, your immune system, and your drive to create and achieve. People who regularly set goals and work toward them, mentally or physically, often stay healthy longer and live more fulfilling lives. 50% of your dopamine system is genetically determined. So yes, some people are naturally more optimistic, motivated, or joyful than others. If you know someone who seems constantly dissatisfied, don't blame their personality. It may just be their brain chemistry. But here's the good news. About 40% of your dopamine activity is shaped by your habits and environment. For example, children who grew up with rituals, decorating a tree before Christmas, preparing food together, making gifts for grandparents, learned the dopamine system naturally. They experienced the anticipation, the effort, and then the reward. Same goes for sports, school plays, competitions, any long-term effort followed by feedback and recognition. These early experiences train the brain to associate effort with reward instead of relying on instant pleasure. Dopamine is essential. It's what helps us pursue goals, stay motivated, and achieve meaning in life. But when we abuse quick dopamine sources, porn, drugs, gambling, excessive scrolling, we damage the system. We fall into the dopamine trap, a state where life feels dull, pointless, and exhausting. But with the right steps, dopamine fasting, good nutrition, meaningful habits, and long-term goals, you can retrain your brain, reclaim your motivation, and even extend your life, because those who pursue goals with purpose are the ones who tend to live the longest and the healthiest. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more deep dives into how your brain and body really work. Let's keep learning together. See you in the next one.